Hello. Okay. We are on day 2 of the 5 failures that I'm going to be sharing that set me up for the life that I absolutely love. And I'm sharing these because I want you to have a life that you absolutely love. And so I'm doing this as a series so that if you need to kind of binge watch and get yourself right, get your mindset shifted, then you're going to be able to cue this up and save it. Okay. So today I want to talk about when you fail in the eyes of other people, like you feel like you're a failure to others because you're disappointing them. So real life example for me, if you haven't watched video 1, then you may not know. If you have watched it, then you know that my major was chemical engineering. I got a graduate degree in chemical engineering, and I shared how I finished number 1, and it opened so many doors of opportunity, but it began with failing the entrance exam to the School of Engineering. So I started my career in Chicago at a major pharmaceutical company. And initially, it was exactly what I wanted. You know how you work so hard for something, but over time, I just didn't like it. And I had an amazing mentor who opened doors for me to have projects that were in Belgium. I even traveled to Belgium. I was able to travel on the private jet for the company. I remember we were going to fly to North Carolina. I was so excited because that's my hometown. We were going to Rocky Mount. I'm not from Rocky Mount, but I'm from a town called Nightdale, and it was close by. And so my mentor said, we're going to be flying down for the day. And I was like, oh, so do we fly out of O'Hare or Midway? And he said, neither. I'm going to give you the address. What? The address. And so that was my first time going to a hangar where there was a private jet. And I will never forget eating my bagel on China. And I was the only woman, only Black woman, only woman and only Black person on this private jet. And we flew from Chicago to Rocky Mount for the day to tour the plant. I'm saying all this to say my career was on a tremendous path, and I didn't like it. And I made a decision to go into pharmaceutical sales. And in the eyes of my mentors and in the eyes of the people who had invested a lot in me in terms of, opening doors of networking, opening doors of, exposing me to projects that gave me visibility to higher ups. And if you've been in corporate, you know that visibility is everything. It's the name of the game. All right. And I just the idea of being in a cubicle and doing that type of work for the rest of my life, it just didn't feel right. And it was incredibly difficult because I knew that I was disappointing people who really had a lot of hopes for me. That was like the beginning of STEM and my getting minorities in engineering and the visibility and um, you know, so when you have God has given you this time of life where a lot of people are looking to you as an example and a role model of what's possible in technology and in engineering and all these things in science, and you're leaving to go to sales. It was not a good time. Okay. And what I mean by that, a good time for me to experience all of the discomfort of disappointing people who had spent so much time investing in me. It was even difficult to explain it to my parents because they were like, sales, sales has a very different reputation than engineering. And so I'm sharing all this to say that sometimes, and now fast forward, I switched obviously again from sales to life coaching, and business strategy, making these changes, if you're considering a change and the thing that's holding you back is how the opinions of others, um, how others will judge you. Listen, this is what I'm going to say to you. Number one, you have to let people be wrong about you. Like all of the people who thought I was making a mistake, all the people who said, you're too smart to go into sales, all of the people who said, don't leave this high paying job. I have more than out earned what I could ever make as an engineer because sales has no cap. Okay. Pharmaceutical sales does, but, obviously now as a business owner, I make what I decide to make. Right. And so I'm sharing this with you to say you're going to have to allow the discomfort. And I say this because when I coach women and they're just like, oh, it just feels really, really uncomfortable, then you're on the right path because you're literally changing your identity. You're changing your identity. And so my identity as the engine nerd, I'm still an engine nerd. I just think I'm a nerd with a great personality. Okay. Who also knows how to sell, who also knows how to build a business from nothing. Um, so when you are multi-passionate, multi-gifted, you may be multi-misunderstood. I know I just made it up, but we can make stuff up. And so today, the biggest takeaway that I want you to get is that if you're going to disappoint people, make sure you're not one of the people. The other thing that I want to say to you is that if you are not enjoying most days of the week, I prefer to enjoy something about all 7 days, and you find yourself counting down to Friday. You find yourself counting down to when you can go on vacation. You find yourself waiting to get away from your life. Then I want you to strongly consider that it's time to go. And I want you to know you can be good at something, you can be well paid at something and still decide to leave it. That was my reality because I wasn't willing to disappoint myself. I wasn't willing to just count down to Friday. And I wasn't willing to deny that voice inside that says there's more. There's more. There were more of my skills that I wanted to express that would never be able to be expressed in engineering. Listen, I love my nails. I love my lashes. I like to wear some braids, rock some braids, sometimes extensions, whatever. And I was wearing khakis and steel-toed shoes and a hard hat. You can't put all of this in that. Can you see the problem? So anyway, I don't want to make this too long, but again, I'm doing this series. So, if you are failing, like you feel like you're failing in the eyes of other people, you feel like you failed them. I want you to know it's just a feeling. It's not a fact. And sometimes you got to let people think what they're going to think. Let them be wrong about you. Let them think you're making a mistake. Let them think that you are throwing your career away. And if you're going to disappoint people, make sure you're not one of the people. All right. So again, I'm going to invite you to rewrite your story. And so that if you are interested in taking your story and building it into a personal brand, that you don't want to miss my masterclass on June 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll put it somewhere around this video, either below, above, somewhere. My assistant will do that for me. And I want to see you there. Listen, you can walk away even when it's good, even when you feel like you're failing other people. I promise you, some failures are set up for something so amazing that it will blow your mind. I'm a witness. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. This is day 2 of our 5-part series of how failure can be a setup for a mind-blowing life. All right. God bless. I'll see you soon. Bye.